What's up guys, JV2017 here with your daily Destiny tips and tricks video, and this time we're covering Bungie's weekly update that was released yesterday on the 24th of October. So my goal here is to inform you all on the important pieces of this update in video form in case you don't want to read the whole thing. But if you do, link is in the description as always. And the TLDR version of this update is that Bungie acknowledges that the Iron Banner event, which happened almost 2 weeks ago from October 7th to October 14th, pretty much sucked hardcore. And they have a ton of changes and improvements already set in place, and we're going to explore them in this video. And so I'm going to give you guys little pieces of basically the update here. However, keep in mind I'm not going to read them off because there's just so much information in this update. So let's get started. First off, they acknowledge that the powers were not, the difference between level and gear was not enough. And it didn't really feel like you were, awarded enough in terms of having additional power by being a higher level. So they're going to detail exactly how they're doing that in a later update. And they acknowledge that that was a mistake, and also they're adding this little weird requirement that you need to have a level 20 plus in your fire team in order to participate in the Iron Banner. Now I feel like all of this is subject to change, I'll get to that in a second, but I feel like that's going to be something that people don't agree with, but we'll see. So you have to have at least one level 20 person, to basically what they say, chaperone you and get you into the Iron Banner. So next up, they talk about people quitting, just leaving games, and they introduce something called a Medallion of Iron. So basically, whenever you lose a game, you will get a Medallion of Iron, and this is kind of a token that you'll basically redeem the next time you win a game. So if you win a game and you have a Medallion of Iron in your inventory, it'll grant you reputation, additional reputation, that is close to a win, but not as much as a win. So, for example, let's say I lose a game, I get a medallion, then I win a game, I get 30 reputation. That medallion will give me 25 reputation in addition to the 30 because I had it in my inventory. That's just an example, those numbers are not set in stone. So, just to understand it, that's how, and they're doing this because they don't want people to quit. Quitting is a excuse me for this, but a bitch move, and they see that, but there's no way to get around it because people will do it. So this is their compromise for that, and incentivizing people to not quit. And you'll get reputation if you stay in a game, suck it up and get your Medallion of Iron. So the next things they talked about were the armor and weapons and how they are improved. And these are armor and weapons that are provided by Lord Saladin. In exchange, you get them by having a high rank and reputation. So they changed it to where the armor is actually viable for level 30. So this will be stuff that will compete with your raid armor, which is very cool. I'm glad they did that because I was looking at the rewards for the Iron Banner and I was like, this stuff is weak. What's going on here? There's no reason for me to play this, and that's why I didn't play it, to be honest. And also, they changed the weapon variety. They bumped up the amount of weapons from 2 to 4, so you'll have 4 different weapons. Those weapons were not very special either, so I really wish they would improve them, but they didn't say they would in this update. Next up, they changed the bounties for the Iron Banner event. Basically, they realized that these bounties were mutually exclusive and actually extremely difficult. They were very particular, like get 20 headshots with snipers. Some of you may be sniper pros and be like, I can get that in an hour. That's easy stuff. The majority of people aren't that great with snipers, and so they basically just made them easier, more accessible, and also more valuable. So the bounties, you'll have more of an incentive to actually pick up these bounties while you play the Iron Banner. And also they moved them to Lord Saladin. You don't get them from the normal bounty guy, so they felt that Lord Saladin was kind of lonely back there with his giant gong, so they moved the bounties back there. Next up, they're introducing a new feature. It's kind of new, but they already kind of had this in there, called reforging. So reforging will allow you to re-roll upgrades on each of the Iron Banner weapons, and these are the weapon rewards again that you get from having a high reputation. You'll be able to purchase them when you have that reputation. basically what reforging is it resets the upgrades on the weapon, and it also resets the weapon upgrade progress. So hopefully that made sense. You know, every weapon has experience. It'll reset the experience on that weapon and also re-roll the upgrades to a different set at the cost of motes of light. So finally we have something to spend our motes of light on. That's a big change, and that's an interesting feature. We'll see if it's actually useful, you know, worth our motes of light. Next up, they added an entirely new feature, or they're going to, if all of this holds up, called Tempered. So this is interesting. They kind of acknowledge that some people don't have time to play a timed event. They've got work. Maybe they work night shifts. They can't play with their friends during certain times of the day. Basically, they're adding a 12-hour buff every single day during the Iron Banner event that will boost reputation gains and also increase as it goes later into the week, which I don't actually understand why they would do that. Like, maybe they expect more people to play later in the week, and maybe they do. Maybe I just have no clue and they understand it on their side of things, but I don't understand why it increases later in the week. So we'll have to see. Also, I don't understand the 12-hour buff. That just seems to, I don't know, like, what if you work during those entire 12 hours? It feels counterintuitive, and so we'll have to see how that works out. Next up, they increased the rank of reputation that you can achieve in the Iron Banner from 3 to 5. However, they acknowledge that they'll probably be tweaking this model in the future. They're probably going to add an entirely different model because, you know, initially they actually said that they wanted to reset your Iron Banner reputation every single week, which seems insane. Like, that doesn't make sense at all, at least to me. However, they don't want to do that, and they want to add a kind of a long-standing reputation gain that will just build up over time over these events. So finally, they acknowledge that these changes are still subject to tuning and being changed, and some of them might not even make it at all. So really take this with a grain of salt, all these updates, but they sound pretty good. They sound like Bungie's really on top of things in terms of tuning the Iron Banner event and changing it, you know, that's in a way that's more accessible and easier and more enjoyable for everyone. They also say that the next event hopefully will happen by the end of the year, which is crazy because we've got 2 more months in this year. So I guess they feel like these changes are going to require a lot of behind the scenes tuning. So anyways, that's all I have for you all. That was a lot of information, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new. And if you did, remember to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. And also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. It's your #1 destination for Destiny content. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you all next time. Peace!